Now we burn incense in regard to the precepts, meditation, and emancipation. May the light and fragrant cloud of this incense pervade the Dharma world. We offer this incense to the countless Buddhas of the worlds of the 10 directions. May we be able to see and partake of the fragrance of the world of tranquil extinction. Ojoke. Oh, thank you all very much for coming today. I'm always very appreciative of seeing the regular faces Sunday. Very much appreciate those who come to help. Michael, thank you. You've been very diligent in coming every single Sunday to help. You don't ask any questions, you just get to work, and really appreciate you. Kishin and Kaishin, thank you so much for all your efforts in making sure that the temple is always clean, it looks nice, and that you are doing a fabulous job of organizing the laity and setup for services. Kishin, thank you so much for shepherding our Sangha as our temple leader, making sure that we have things like fruit offerings and such, and all the wonderful things that your family does and brings to the temple. John, thank you so much for not only coming when you're here in Rochester, but for being an inspiration to daily practice. I would like to ask everyone to please, if you get an opportunity, check out 500yojanas.com. Is it .com or .org? And John will pass that on. He has a wonderful website. If you wouldn't mind just putting a little beanbag behind the door there. He has a wonderful website that's a daily practice. I mean, he probably has one of the most comprehensive daily practices of anyone I've seen, including some ministers, a lot of ministers actually. He incorporates reading the sutra on a daily basis and looking into it as well as using it in your practice, both chanting out loud the sutra in both English and Japanese, as well as reflection, as well as looking into the various gosho, Nichiren Shonen, that supplement and help with the actual reading of the Lotus Sutra. I have found it very inspirational. And for those of you who are looking for ways to develop a daily practice, piggyback on some of the stuff that John's doing in Sacramento, the Sacramento Temple too. Also, think about looking at what the Sacramento Temple is doing as far as some of the events and some of the organizational stuff for us as well. Is a good idea. A few procedural notes. John, who again is visiting from the Sacramento Temple, recently had was it a memorial service? A burial service for
mother and father-in-law.
For mother and father-in-law, and John was asked to be one of the people reading at that burial service, and he chose some Nichiren Shonen's Kosho related to the Jigage chapter 16 verses. Lotus Sutra that we do on a regular Sunday basis. And I'd like John to take a second and talk about that, because I want you to feel emboldened as lay practitioners that when the muse is upon you, so to speak, that in appropriate situations, please offer to be that voice for the Lotus Sutra and for the Buddha and Nichiren Shonen in these situations if it's appropriate. So,
Want me to stand?
yeah, please stand.
So, anyway, I'm going to use my phone here because I have it on. So, in funeral services, recite Jigage, which is the first part. It's the verses from chapter 16. And this year, I did a little 100-day practice of my own where I read for over 100 days the 7 volumes of Nichiren Shonen's writings that Nichiren Shu has published. And one of the things that I stumbled across, which was really cool, and I used it in this service, was an explanation of why we recite Jigage. And this is the part of the letter, it's just a small part of the letter that I use as both, I use it in this service, but I also use it as a memorial tablet for one of my father-in-law. So this is from, I don't have it here it is. It's called Horin Sho, the Letter to Horin, Writings of Nichiren Shonen, Volume 6, which is one of the followers. It's on page 56 and 57. As you read and recite the Jigage verse, you produce 510 golden characters. Each of these characters transforms itself to be the sun, which in turn changes the Shakyamuni Buddha, who emits rays of bright light shining through the earth, the 3 evil realms, hell, region of hungry spirits and that beast, the hell of incessant suffering, and to all the directions of the north, south, east, and west. They shine upward to the heaven of neither thought nor non-thought at the top of the realm of non-form, looking everywhere for the souls of the departed. And this letter is actually quite interesting because it goes in to discuss how Horin's parents are greeted by these manifestations of Shakyamuni Buddha and encouraged and this sort of thing. And I read this as part of my chanting every day to remember those who have died, because for me, one of the great values of this practice is the ability to transfer my merit to the deceased relatives, because in that state where they are not in a form where they can have karma, they need help. The practice, the merit you send to them, help them. And this letter in particular has a great, there's a couple of great letters about how chanting affects somebody who's gone into the wrong realm. This is, I printed that quote and asked the priest in in Sacramento to decorate it with the daimoko, and he suggested adding also Fudo and Eisen, the marks that you see on the outside edge in the center.
Fudo was on the right-hand side, and Eisen is on the left.
And so this is what it looks like. And this is on my altar as my memorial tablet.
And if you'll send me a picture of that, I'll
Sure.
consider.
Anyway, that's what I did for the memorial service. One thing I want to tell you about my personal practice that I think has been very valuable is the idea of reading a portion of the Lotus Sutra every day. Now, I do it Shindoku in the morning and the same section in the afternoon in English. I am currently in the process of not exactly legally reprinting the entire Lotus Sutra in that 32-day format so that it's available for those who want to do it, also for those who want to figure out where the breaks are. That's not necessary for the Shindoku because there is a good book that I mentioned on my website that you can get that was put together by the priest who's in Boston. And
That's Reverend Faulkner.
Reverend Faulkner. And so that book has 32 days. There are 8 volumes of the Lotus Sutra. You divide each of the volumes into 4 parts. You get 32 total ones. It takes about 15 minutes added to your service to recite in English 1/32 of the Lotus Sutra. Not a big commitment of time, but it is a commitment of time on top of whatever else you're doing. But having gone through, I'm now about 40 times through the Lotus Sutra. I really enjoy the benefits that I get. Not so much from concrete things you get, but the appreciation of the promises of the Lotus Sutra, the things the Lotus Sutra offers in it. It's really, before I did this, I did not have a very deep understanding of why the Lotus Sutra is so valuable. What are the things that it offers? And so, personally, I recommend if you've got the time, if you feel inclined, dividing the Lotus Sutra up into these little increments, progressing, going through, and importantly, doing it again and again, because you find things you didn't notice before, or some things will stand out that you didn't notice, that didn't stand out before. My favorite example of this is the definition of faith. About the 5th time through, when I was reading it, we're in chapter 16, and the story about the physician and his kids. Okay? The physician leaves town, kids get into the stuff and make themselves sick. The physician comes back, sees they're all sick, creates this really neat potion for them that he promises them looks good, nice color, smells nice, and it'll taste good. And the guys who aren't quite over the end, with craziness, take it and they're cured. It's great. But the guys who are really over the top, having been poisoned, won't admit that it might taste good. You can look at it, you can see it's okay, you can smell it before you taste it. But you have to have that little bit of faith that, okay, you tell me it tastes good. All right, I have faith that it tastes good. I'll take it, that you're cured. And it's that idea of what faith involves. It involves not necessarily, it's a concrete thing that leads to an action. It leads to a benefit from, the action you're doing. It's not just, I have blind faith in what's going on. So that was one of my favorite little things that I, picked up from the Lotus Sutra that at that time in my practice, nobody ever pointed out to me that was a good way of looking at faith. So I'll stop there.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. John, thank you so much. I think it's incredibly important for us to be able to hear the voices of a variety of practitioners. I know that sometimes you hear me ramble on Sundays, but I just really felt that John's message was pretty powerful. What I'd like to really encourage everyone to do is to develop a personal relationship with the Lotus Sutra. This is not a top-down religion. You know, everything is bottom up, and you can take my word on all of this and come in and practice faithfully and still gain merit and all of those things. And I would say that I thank you for your faith in me and in this practice, but you should really delve into it on your own. And what John said is incredibly true. You know, every time you read the Lotus Sutra, something more comes out. Even Dogen, the founder of Shoeizan, when he initially read the Lotus Sutra, thought it was a bunch of gobbledygook. And was like, what's the benefit or merit of this? Well, I don't know why everyone holds this up to be so special. By the end of his practice, he upheld the Lotus Sutra himself as being the highest sutra that had all of them in there, and that there was so much that he didn't see until later. And I will be completely honest with you. Initially, you think, what the heck is going on? You know, there's a lot of big names, and a lot of people floating in the air, and a lot of gold, and stuff raining down from heaven. I'm not really sure what's going on. But as you spend more and more time reading the text, you realize that it's metaphorical, it's allegorical, it's not literal. And then it starts to unfold as your practice deepens, as your understanding of Buddhism deepens, the metaphor, the symbolism, the allegory starts to open itself to you. It becomes so much more understandable because it's based on personal experiential understanding of Buddhism and of life. And that's the amazing thing about the Lotus Sutra. I am continually amazed at just how I can open it at times, and it tends to help speak towards whatever it is I need at that particular point. You don't even necessarily have to go through it from front to back. You know, our lineage has you start with chapter 10, right at Teacher of the Dharma, and work your way through chapter 28 and then back 1 to 9. Develop that relationship. Read it. If you can, do what John does. Break it up into sections and read it as part of your morning or evening service, or both. You do it in Japanese, you do it in English. But there is something powerful that I personally experienced in English, when I read the sutra out loud in front of my Monson. Maybe it's that I focus better on the words, or maybe it's that I'm open to the meanings because I'm in a spiritual space, or maybe it's very, very much the spirits and the Buddhas and such coming to help assist me in understanding. But the Lotus Sutra is not the same as the Bible. You know, I'm not here to digest it for you and then spit it back in your mouth like a mama bird and have you eat it whole. You should question, you know, be like Thomas in the Bible, put your finger in the wound of Christ and twist it a little bit to see if it's really there. The Buddha says you're alive unto yourself. You are your own salvation. You have to do that. But to remember that you're doing this for the benefit of all sentient beings, not for yourself. So having said that, let's get to some practice. We're going to do Shoeizan today. You should feel free to get vigorous today if you wish. You can take us up and down the mountain if you want to. So we're going to chant vigorously today. We are going to sit in a decent amount of meditation because I think it's incredibly important, especially after last week. We had a beautiful high service for Oishiki, remembering the passing of Nichiren Shonin. I think it's incredibly important after such a big service to get back to a very basic practice of chanting. And I also love Shoeizan because we also do seated meditation, which gets us back to the same basic practice that the Buddha himself had. And within the context of Shoeizan, when you're sitting in meditation, the first meditation, Joshingo, is to prepare your body. You know, don't feel bad to kind of find that spot. You know, get that nice spot. Don't worry about getting there. Just find that spot and then allow your body to rest, because now you're preparing yourself for chanting the Odai Mantra, the great title. Namu, I take refuge in the Myoho, the mystical law of the Renge Lotus Flower Kyo Sutra. We are invoking, when we chant, we are invoking every syllable of the sutra, which is, all of them are holy. And all of them assure, even if someone hears even a 50th part of a syllable of enlightenment. So remember that when we're chanting, this is our gift. This is our way to experience the love, the enlightenment, the wholeness of the Buddha, the eternal Buddha in our lives and in other lives. This is our gift to all sentient beings. This is the Buddhism of sowing, not the Buddhism of reaping. Really put out your merit for your ancestors, like John said. This is a type of Buddhism that can benefit those who have passed, those who are here, and even those who are yet to be here. This your hands in your gosh. Bye. Dojo Han. Receiving the dojo. Know this place in which we find ourselves now is a dojo, a place of Buddhist training. All Buddhists come to this place and attain perfect enlightenment. All Buddhists come to this place and turn the wheel of the Dharma. All Buddhists come to this place and enter into Nirvana. Onmon Sanpi, the three treasures. It is difficult to be born as a human being. I have now realized such a birth. To hear the teaching of the Buddha is difficult. I have now been able to hear it. I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Namu Renge Kyo. Doshinjo. Silent meditation to center and calm the mind and body so that we may chant the old Dharma. When you sit in meditation, please don't close your eyes. Leave your eyes open. Inzan no Metsuke, far mountain gazing, so allow them to unfocus. Peripheral vision. Tongue on the roof of your mouth, just behind your top teeth. Roll your shoulders back slightly, chin up slightly. Breathing with your hara, with your center. Oshi. Place your hands in Gasho. Shosho. Chanting the sacred title. Am yo horenge kyo. Am yo horenge kyo. Am yo Namu Jinshin-yo. Silent meditation to feel the sublime dharma of the old Daimoku and the preciousness of life. Today's echo, we remember those in sickness and distress as well as those who have passed. Today in sickness and distress, we remember Gail Hope, Barbara Hardaway, Yoshua and Frank Parker, Catherine May, Ricky Thibault, Jay Tinsey, Helen Lawson, Aaron Floyd, Desi Floyd, Derek Floyd, Kush Floyd, Jane Foreman Tartaro, Charles D. Cederman, Hope Mosier, and patients at the Rochester Psychiatric Center. We also remember Tristan Cole. In memorial, we remember the Hardaway family, the Cole, the Green families, the Winter and Sparks families, the Hamilton family, Jax Parker, the Bigelow Johnson families, the Show Thibault families, the Houston families, Daniel Mayer, Cheryl Cushman, Faye family, the Rivas family, Houseco Jordan, the Cederman and Kobayashi families, the Morrissey family, the Julius family, the Abad family, the Kazmarski family, the Knock family, James Cochran, as well as Sumiko Suzuki, Dennis Sullivan, Terry Hakeling, Bill Mears Sensei, Art Sensei, Errol Scott, Wayne, Linda Williams, Aunt Barbara, Michael Maffei, David Spence, the Adams family, and all those who have none to pray for them. We respect you deeply. You will all be able to practice the way of bodhisattvas and become Buddhas. May the merits we have accumulated by this offering be distributed among all living beings, and may we and all other living beings attain the enlightenment of the Buddha.
Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo
Venerable ones, remember us. Ye are your light and come again out of your compassion. Please place your hands again and hold Kai Joey briefly.
Thank you all very much. Good. We have our more potluck lunch afterwards. I see that we have some lovely ginger tea from Ed, who brought that for us. We also have really wonderful fruit salad from John. We have some rice that the temple donated, as well as miso soup and such. So please enjoy. We will be lining up for our photo services, and then we will immediately have lunch. Also, please, we have Emma from the Year of the Dog that are still here. Please come and make a donation and fill out an Emma for your wish for the Year of the Dog. We still have some time left before the end of the year for good luck. First, you look beautiful. I mean, you are stunning vision, young lady. Hey, remember, we bow before we come. Okay. Okay. Roll that down. We got to start doing it the right way. Okay. Okay. Thank you all. We'll line up on this door. All right. Good.